searching for a nationality. And once we find our nationality and serve that nationality, we'll do for ourselves what needs to be done. All ethnic groups in this country understand they got a nationality, because you answer to such stupid words like Negro and colored and black. You have no nationality. Negro is not a nationality. Some lazy Portuguese or Spaniard took an adjective and made a noun out of it. Colored is not a nationality. Black tells you how you look, but it don't tell you who you are.
That's right.
The name of a people must relate them instantaneously to land, history, and culture. And anytime you call a people by their right name, anytime you call a people and name a people and fail to relate them back to land, history, and culture, you have called them out of their name. There's no black land or black hole of it. There's nothing wrong with the word black. Nothing wrong with it at all. Only it doesn't relate to a country. The name of every people in the world relate to country. And once you think instantaneously of land, you think of nationality. You belong to something big in the world.
All right. Peace. I know. Rami, where you been, man? Where you been? You said you was, and I thought, I know. My fault. I ain't even got no excuse. Been working a lot. And, well, this is an explanation. It's really difficult for me to create music and art on that side, and then to also do videos and teach, and then to also work my job, and then to also be a parent. It's a whole lot of juggling, and rather than stretch myself too thin, I said, okay, let me just wait a minute on the teaching videos. Let me finish this art, and then we'll get right back into it. And so here I am. I'm not quite done, but I'm almost there. Musically, real quick before I get to this teaching, musically, I'm going to be putting out an album and a documentary short film little situation called Authentic. It's going to be coming really soon. I'll tell y'all, it's a secret, but it's coming out in January. A special day in January, and then January 12th. I'm still planning it, but January 12th is what I'm eyeing to have a celebration, little party, get together, little festivities. And so if you're in the Bay Area, if you're in Oakland to be specific, please show up, show out. You know what I mean? Show some love. But anyways, enough of that. I wanted to read this real quick. This is Othello's Children in the New World, Moorish History and Identity in the African American Experience. And it says, Boxer noted that the Maratha War of 1737 to 1740, Maratha, M-A-R-A-T-H-A, this war was due in part to a Portuguese official calling an influential Maratha, southwestern India leader, and this is India from over there, you know what I'm saying? India, not what they call it, Indians as in Americans. Anyways, so this whole war kicked off because this Portuguese official called this southwestern Indian leader a nigger, and that's with the E-R. And this is in 1737. Think about that. A southwestern Indian leader was called a nigger by a Portuguese official. The Maratha dignitary was highly insulted as he understood that the word nigger was equated in the Portuguese language with Negro and slave status. Oh my goodness. Keep going. Richard B. Moore, in his book, The Name Negro, Its Origin and Evil Use, 1960, argues vehemently against the use of the term Negro for African peoples. He calls its origins vile and initiated in indignity and immorality. Moore argued vehemently about how the use of the term Negro negatively affected the mind of the person who accepted it. Man. He recognized that the acceptance of this pejorative nomenclature would also result in contempt from the society at large. And then let me flip over. Moore then points to the work of the late, great Cuban scholar, Fernando Ortiz, professor of ethnography at the University of Havana. In The Illusion of Races, Ortiz stated, "So degrading among the Hispanic peoples, not excepting Spain itself, were the words Negro and mulatto, that their uses became limited to slaves, because they implicitly signified slavery or social vileness. Thus, the free black person was called moreno." Oh, come on now. Wait a minute. Let me read that one more time. The words Negro and mulatto, they were not accepting Spain itself, that the words Negro and mulatto, that their uses became limited to slaves. The words Negro and mulatto is limited to slaves because they implicitly signify slavery or social violence. Thus, the free black person, if you free out here, you was called a moreno. The free black person was called moreno, and the slave, negro. Moreno, free black person, the slave, negro. And to this very day, still continuing with the quote, to this very day, anyone who wishes to insult people of color will always use the words Negro in place of Moreno. My goodness. I'm going to just close up with this right here. The Holy Quran, Circle 7. I just want to read this real quick. Actually, no, I gotta put this on the record too, because I read this too, man. Let me find it real quick, because this blew my mind, man. Nah, that's enough. You gotta get the book. I ain't gonna, this is enough for today. You get the book, but let me read this. We're gonna close it out. I ain't trying to hit you with too much today. You know what I mean? We're just getting back into the swing of things. I want you to study for yourself so you can know for yourself. Don't believe me. I don't want you to believe me. I want you to look it up for yourself. Look up Moreno. M-O-R-E-N-O. What does that mean? Where did that word come from? Look up the root. The what's the science for words? What is that again? Etymology. That's right. Etymology. Know what I'm talking about? And shout out to Stolly. Never mind. You ain't even ready for that. You ain't even ready for that. You ain't even ready for that. But let me just read this last little piece right here. That is why the nationality of the Moors was taken away from them in 1774, and the word Negro, black, and colored was given to the Asiatics of America who were of Moorish descent. Names was taken away from us, Moors, and we was given Negroes, blacks, and coloreds. If you're free, you're Moor, Moreno. If you're enslaved, you're a black, a Negro. Oh, actually, let me read that one piece. Let me see if I can find that one piece, only because that applied directly to me. I should have had that page down, man. Man, I might have to double back real quick. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can find it off the flip. Because he was talking about the law and what the words meant, and he was specifically talking about California, and that kind of blew my Put my mind. 1 second. We'll be right back. All right, boom, I found it. Here we go. In 1854, the California Supreme Court stated that a black, quote unquote, a black, was not the same as, quote unquote, a black person. What does that mean? The legal distinction was evidently significant and important enough for the California court to point it out. It stated explicitly that black person was the term used to designate non-Caucasian persons or citizens. So that's a huge gamut of people. That's just non-Caucasian. So a black person is anybody that's non-Caucasian. Now, but it also said that a black was simply another word for Negro. Now, this is the California Supreme Court in 1850-something. Yes, it's real. We're Moors. We're not blacks. We're not Negroes. We're not coloreds. We're not African Americans. We're not niggers. All of those tie us back into being enslaved or being considered slaves. It's just that simple. And my man, right here, Noble Drew Ali, prophet, brought us this small little pamphlet a little over 100 years ago. It was out there in the streets of Chicago and the rest of the country teaching, educating us, informing us, letting us know we're not Negroes. Stop calling. Let me read it one more time and you're going to close him out. Come all ye Asiatics of America and hear the truth about your nationality and birthrights. Because you are not Negroes. Learn of your forefathers' ancient and divine creed, that you will learn to love instead of hate. As I read earlier, it spoke about the name, the use of the term Negro negatively affected the mind of the person who accepted it. Our minds have been enslaved. We have to free our minds, as the wise messenger Bob Marley once said. Understand who we are. Understand who you are. Know yourself. It's the key. That's it. That's all for me right now. Keep shining. Keep studying. Keep being amazing. Keep spreading love. Yeah. Next time. Peace. I'm feeling good.